In the Unresolved Problems segment tonight, the Democratic Party beginning to panic about Hillary Clinton. New reports say that more and more Democrats fear serious damage to her candidacy as the debacle over her private email server grows worse by the day. Despite the scandal, some of Hillary's allies are still saying that there's nothing to see here.
There's nothing criminal about any of this. She never did mail classified information, not labeled as such. I think she's been completely truthful. And this is an attempt by the Republicans to smear the frontrunner early on. It's a classic. This is going on since Whitewater and Vince Foster.
Hillary has been completely truthful. But regardless of that defense, Hillary's problems are fueling speculation about how vulnerable she is to her Democratic rivals.
Is it possible that some moderate challenge to Clinton could, whether it's Jim Webb or somebody else?
It's hard to see how a moderate wins either one of the
energy. The party is going the other way.
The energy is
both parties.
Go where the energy is. That's what gets people
If
nominated.
Elizabeth Warren to declare tomorrow, where do you think she'd be in the polls?
20 points ahead in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Then Bernie Sanders?
No, ahead of Hillary.
Yeah.
Head of
20
both.
points ahead of
both.
Joining us now with reaction from Dallas, former Clinton White House aide Keith Boykin, and with me in New York, Democratic pollster Jessica Tarlov. Keith, let me start with you. Howard Dean, nothing to see here?
Well, you know, like he said before, we've been through this whole Clinton controversies going back to the Vince Foster. They accused her of killing her friend Vince Foster, for God's sake. They accused her of being involved in the Whitewater scandal. They accused her of Benghazi controversies. This is nothing new in terms of the accusations against Hillary Clinton, but the reality is she's been a very resilient person, a very resilient political figure. I think she's going to weather this storm.
But Keith, in
and
hindsight,
she's doing quite well in the polls.
In hindsight, there actually was some there on some of the things. Now, you know, you may push back on the Vince Foster, but we certainly have found out a lot of things about some of the other scandals. You could talk about Whitewater, you talk about Travelgate, some of the other scandals. There were things there that people, frankly, I think it is fair game that people should know about. Let me bring it to Jessica. Go ahead. You want to respond to that?
Yeah, I disagree with that. And the reality is that she's been Secretary of State, she's been a senator, she's been a First Lady, and she's doing incredibly well in the polls despite all the controvery surrounding her. People know who Hillary Clinton is. People already have a good idea of who she is.
Let me bring it over to Jessica. She was doing incredibly well in the polls, but that support is sliding. Yeah,
absolutely. In New Hampshire, we saw a poll where Bernie Sanders is up. It is his backyard, so that makes a difference. And she's still up, and across the country, 35 points, I think it is, but it used to be over 60. I think the point here is that not so much whether something wrong happened or not, but what people feel and what they're hearing about her. I realize that no one has talked about a Hillary Clinton policy in quite some time, and that's the issue here. Hillary Clinton has the best policies for this country. We're just hearing about the scandals instead of what she's going to be offering moving forward, and I think that's really what's hurting her.
Keith, should she focus a little bit more on policy? Should she be answering more questions? Frankly, she hasn't had to because she had such a commanding lead. As that lead shrinks, maybe she needs to get out in front and tell us what she's all about.
Well, I think she has spoken very clearly about policy. Remember, Hillary Clinton has been in the public sphere for decades now, and people know what her views are. But she's starting to articulate, I think, very progressive views on voting rights, her policy on universal voter registration, for example, on education, affordability. I think that's a very progressive idea. That's very positive for the Democratic Party. And I think that her message is going to get out there. Now, mind you, she has a race on her. She's still got Bernie Sanders out there on her heels, and Martin O'Malley's in the race. I think the Democrats have an embarrassment of riches compared to the Trump clown show in the Republican Party. So I think the Democrats in a great position.
Go ahead, Jay. I mean, look, that is a common theme among the left, that you have an embarrassment of riches because you have a candidate that's been basically coronated. She was going to be the inevitable.
Not basically coronated. I mean, we're having real discussions about Joe Biden. We are about maybe John Kerry, throw in that he may have a
but Jessica, we've been doing TV together for the better part of 2 years, and this is in the last, week and a half or so, everyone's saying, Joe Biden, hey, no scandals.
I don't think that, and I think Joe Biden has bigger problems than that. I mean, if anyone is closely tied to President Obama, who's not overwhelmingly popular right now, it's Joe Biden. But what I would say to Keith's point about her articulating her policies, I agree that she's saying it. What I'm saying is no one is hearing her because all that we're hearing about is the controversy. So, as I said, she has the best policies for the country. Yes, some of them are progressive, some of them down the middle, like her tuition policy from just this week, I think is great. A balance between federal spending.
Keith, didn't she have to release that? Hold on. Just let me ask this question. I mean, it's very obvious. She came out with a $350 billion policy proposal that she threw out there, but she did that on the heels of Bernie Sanders putting 100,000 people in seats on the West Coast. Maybe this is in response. She's getting nervous. Keith.
Is that to me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think, look, Bernie Sanders is making Hillary Clinton a better candidate, no doubt about it. You know, look how much money he's raised. He's raised more money in terms of independent fundraising, not super PAC fundraising, than all of the other Republican Party candidates. He's the only person who's ahead of him in terms of fundraising is Hillary Clinton. That shows how strong the Democratic Party field is. And the fact that he's drawing 20, 30,000 people is a good sign for the Democratic Party. And that's pushing Hillary Clinton to be progressive. And I think it's going to be, good for the party.
He's far left of Hillary Clinton, and she's trying to carve out some of that space for her own, moving herself left. Very quickly, about a minute.
And she has a 24-point lead in Iowa. She only had a 7-point lead. She only had a 7-point lead in the 2008 race.
But nationally,
her biggest concern, I think, is the Black Lives Matter issue.
Jessica, nationally, she had a 60-point lead. That's shrunk in half.
This is a good thing. Keith is correct about that. We don't want a coronation. The right doesn't want it. The left doesn't want it.
Why not?
That's not. It's not what democracy is all about. We want to see competition. We want to see people
want to win,
push.
Don't you?
Yeah, when we will end up winning. That's policy.
Keith, I love football. I love football, but you know what? I want my team to win all 16 games. I don't want to see a close game. And you know what? I don't want to hope that the other team doesn't kick a field goal in overtime and beat me.
We still have a year.
I just want to win the Super Bowl. I don't care about all the other games. Just win the Super Bowl.
Very
That's the
good.
election.
Me too. Let's leave it at that.